Hello and welcome to Nintendo Pals Podcast. Today, we are going to be reviewing Sea of Stars, brand new game that dropped on Nintendo Switch fairly recently. And I'm going to be leaning heavily into my fellow Nintendo pal, Micah, for this one. But Micah, are you ready?
Yep.
Well, let's just jump on into it. Sea of Stars, a game that has come out recent. Is this a Square Enix title?
No, I don't
No.
think so. It's some
No.
like French,
But it's got like vibes of Chrono Trigger,
a little bit of Chrono Trigger vibes.
kind of what they're going for here.
Some good old school kind of RPG
So
feel to it.
I have not played this game because this is not my kind of game, but Micah has. So Micah, I guess the four things we usually cover in these reviews, we talk about gameplay, we talk about graphics. We don't really have a good category for this, but it's like art style and just how it looks. We talk about the music. We talk about the story. So pick a category and give me a rundown,
Yeah.
man.
What's that first category you said? I'll just go whatever
Gameplay,
order you said.
gameplay.
Gameplay.
Yeah. What's the
Gameplay
gameplay?
is pretty good.
What do
I
you
mean, it's the
what do you do? I know this
old
is like
school
turn based.
RPG, turn-based, run around, punch things. But it has a little bit of like the action prompts, so you can make your attacks better by doing certain things at certain times. Kind of Thousand Year Door style.
I was gonna say this is like Paper Mario Action Command stuff.
Yeah, Action Command, that's the word I was looking for.
Nice,
So
nice. Always a fan of that.
that's real cool.
And then
Uh,
for
you,
traveling between battles, is it like an overworld map? Is it random encounters?
you see them. Well, they kind of have like, well, they have like the overworld map, and you just like move in four directions, and it's like the classic, real old school RPGs where
Okay.
you're like running around and you see like the town, you walk up to it and enter it, kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
But you mostly use that to travel between places of interest. Once you're in those, you're just running around the area. I'm describing this so bad,
Well, you're running around the
but you could
area, but it's like, is it more like an art?
think of once again. Well, I mean, you can't really Thousand Year Door.
Yeah.
How you're like running around the levels,
Okay. So
and
it's
they're
like
pretty
more
long.
open exploration once you're in the points of interest.
Yeah, at least yeah. And there's more point to exploring. Like, even in the overworld, there are a couple like hidden things to find, but there's not really too much to do.
And is
But once you
exploration
get
like a big part of the story?
pretty good part of the story,
Oh. Hmm.
and they have a lot of extra stuff you can do. But back to like they're not random encounters. You can see the enemies, so you can
Uh,
actually get like attack them first to get a little extra damage in at the start of the battle,
dude, this is like
or
so
you can
Paper
try and run
Mario.
away. Yeah, I was like, as the more I describe this, the more it makes me think of Paper Mario in all the right ways.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Um, you play as two protagonists, correct? It's like sun and moon kind of dynamic.
Yeah, and I don't. I mean, one of them is Zale, Zale for sure. That's his name. And the other one looks like it's pronounced Valier or something, but maybe it's just a weird way to spell Valerie. I don't know. I'll
Okay.
question these things. I never say these names out loud, so I don't know.
Yeah, but
I just read them in my
that's
mind.
so true. It's like so many video game characters. Then you hear someone pronounce it, and you go, oh no,
Is that how it's supposed to be said?
is
Is
it
that how you're
not?
supposed to pronounce it?
Is it not Ratatat? It's Ratata.
Yeah, that was a classic. Rat-a-tat. It's like the word foliage. I misread that word for like 7 years, and I always just read it as foliage. I just
Oh
mixed the two
no.
letters,
Yeah.
and it took me so long before I like randomly noticed one time. Where I'm like, wait a second, this is definitely like foliage or something.
Well, it's not a word you use. Like
Yeah,
you're
I've never
not.
used it in real life, just from reading books and things.
Oh, look at that foliage over there. Well, speaking of foliage, how does the game look? Uh,
I think it looks real good.
Real
And
good.
it's the kind of pixel art style, but they got quite a few pixels, so there's still quite a bit of detail.
They've got quite a few pixels. Cool. Put that
but
on the box. Put it on the box. That's such a quote.
but not too many pixels, so it still maintains. And the thing, I mean, it's hard to describe. Like the background of things move in the way that you would think of more
Oh,
like 8-bit art style kind of a thing. Like the grass isn't like super smooth. You can like see kind of the pixel offsettingness. It makes it sound bad, probably, but
no,
it
no.
hits you right in the nostalgia.
Well, this is the team that made The Messenger. And The Messenger had a very distinct art style that was like basically Ninja Gaiden from the NES. But then I think at some point in the game, it goes from 8-bit to like 16-bit. Is there anything like that where like art styles change?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, really? They did. They
Yeah,
pulled the trick again, huh?
there's. I mean, I want to remain pretty as spoiler free as I can, but there's a certain point where you're going to some place and it gets pretty wild for about 30 seconds. It's.
Oh,
I wish I could experience it again because it was pretty cool looking, but yeah, it was a very different art style.
that's cool.
It got
That's cool. What a cool idea.
got a little more 3D, but
Was it
which
true?
is so weird
Oh, huh.
or unexpected. I mean, also they have like almost like anime kind of cutscenes every once in a while, which I feel like the first time I saw, it, I was like, "Whoa, that caught me off guard." But they're pretty cool. And I enjoyed them.
That's cool.
Although, who knows? Maybe some people might think it's kind of out of place.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. So art style good. Gameplay you enjoyed. How about story?
The story was real good as well. It got pretty emotional for a while. Well, not necessarily. No, yeah. I mean, they it got emotional earlier than I expected when something happened. I was real sad about it,
Huh.
but
Yeah, this is the part where it's hard to talk about story
that's
without
like I
getting
can't
into
really. Yeah,
spoilers. But
and there's kind of some
interesting.
post game stuff that also they had like a little more extra story stuff, which is pretty cool.
You're in the post game. I thought you said
Kind of.
that you had.
I, but technically I beat the game,
Okay.
and then I literally just I collected some things, so I'm like on the path to the true ending or whatnot, and I like just beat that boss, kind of a thing, and then things came up and I had to pause the game and I haven't like seen the ending story cutscene for what happens with that. So I don't
What
know if
a
it's gonna be different. I'm like,
what a cliffhanger to leave yourself on. Holy
now I
cow.
was like, oh, but yeah, they got some pretty cool post game collectible stuff to do. But I will say, if I got a little caught up with going back to places and recollecting things when I got new abilities, and it's kind of became a little bit of a drag trekking back through these places. If you wait until practically the end of the game, traversal gets a lot easier, and it's a lot more enjoyable to go back and collect these things because you don't have to run through old levels as much that are kind of easy.
That's a good like
So
pro tip
like
then.
my
So
yeah, my
so
recommendation is don't worry too much about collecting all the things
good to know. Good to
till
know.
later.
I feel like that's a good thing to put at the start of a review of a game. But
Yeah, maybe I should have said that earlier.
no, no, you're good because it's like yeah, things I wish I'd known before I started. We could probably add that as a section to our reviews.
Oh yeah, that would be great
That
idea.
would
Because
be
I really enjoyed the game at the beginning, and then I feel like I hit a teensy bit of a slump. I think it's probably because I was going back and doing those things. But then the story just seemed to get better, and then it got better again. the story, there was more story than I expected. Since I one of the earliest like things about the game I'd heard was like the story wasn't very good or something, or they should have hired like a full-time writer person or something. But
Oh,
I really
interesting.
enjoyed the story, and I thought the dialogue was good. So I kind of went in with low expectations in that regard, but
That,
it
that.
exceeded them. And
Uh,
I'm pretty easygoing, so who knows?
okay, so then rounding things out here, how's the music for the game? Because that was a big like marketing push for this game. They're like, we got one of the people that worked on Chrono Trigger music. You know him. I don't know him. I don't
I
remember his name,
remember, yeah,
but it was a big deal. And I remember being like, oh yeah, that music's good.
yeah. I really enjoy the music throughout, but I mean, for some reason, there isn't too much that's like really memorable or like sticks with me. But there's I've enjoyed all the music. I think the music's really good.
It kind of feels like
It's not quite Golden Sun tier of music,
or Chrono
I'd say,
Trigger
but
tier, which is like some of the most iconic music of all time. I I feel this way with a lot of modern games or like a lot of new indie like just games coming out nowadays is the music is less memorable, but that doesn't mean it's not good. It's because we
yeah,
don't have as strong
may-
like
maybe I don't have
melodies.
enough brain or to remember that these things anymore.
Yeah, well, when you're dealing with like classic games, even up through the like SNES era, games had just like really strong melodies because they were so limited in what they could do, and so they become these like earworms because you it's like a very strong center, right? And with modern games, there's just a lot more freedom with what you can do musically, and that makes people and there's like been a very conscious design choice to make music more atmospheric, and so it's less
Yeah,
theme based and more feeling based, and so you don't remember it
you remember the
individually.
feelings, kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah, that's how I feel it's been. I mean, I'm no music analyst or anything like that. It's just
Yeah,
kind
no,
of
I can definitely agree with that. Because I've thought the same thing. Like the songs recently just haven't felt they don't seem as memorable
yeah,
anymore.
yeah, exactly,
I
exactly.
mostly just assume it's because I'm practically an old person now. My memory's garbage.
Well, Micah, I think you've talked about it. Anything else you want to hit on with this review?
It's real good.
All right, you got to
I enjoyed it a lot.
give us a score out of 10 on this.
Go with a 9.
9 out of 10 for Sea of Stars. There you go.
Maybe a 9.2.
Oh, we're doing decimals. Let's do it.
But since we're not doing decimals, I'll just go with a 9.
I don't know what we're doing. This is only our like third week of doing
Hey,
these
if you
reviews.
don't go with decimals, it's a little easier because there aren't as many options.
True. That's true. That's true. Okay, we're not doing decimals. But you're going with a 9. 9 out of 10 for Sea of Stars. That's from the Nintendo Pals. Official seal of approval from the Nintendo Pals. I'm just roped into it, so because I didn't play it. Um, thanks for playing the game, Micah, and for the review. Hey, if you guys want to help us out in doing and seeing more games reviewed for our podcast, consider supporting us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/Nintendo Pals, where we can dip into the Patreon support to help get some of these games that we don't receive review codes for, like Sea of Stars. Anywho, that's where we'll wrap up the episode. Micah, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitch and YouTube at Micah Prime.
And you can find me at Andros1 on Twitch and YouTube. I wanted to say Twitch and Prime. Like
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. Use your Prime Gaming
Starting now.
to subscribe. You can also follow the show. Thank you so much to everybody who supports us today. Listen into our daily dives into all things Nintendo. We do appreciate it, and we hope that you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye bye.